Hello everyone! For this video we are going to be learning the very basics of 1-point perspective. What is perspective, you ask? So perspective is an art technique where you create the illusion that something is three-dimensional on a two-dimensional surface, such as a piece of paper. So to start us off, we need to start with this thing called a horizon line. A horizon line can be anywhere on your paper. I put mine a little bit higher up. But what it is it's the spot where the sky meets the ground in your image. It's very, very important to know where this is in your artwork because on this horizon line is going to be something that's very important. It's called your vanishing point. And what that is, it's the point where in your drawing something begins to grow smaller and starts to kind of vanish or disappear in your drawing. So it's important to mark where that's going to be because almost every single line and every single thing you draw on this is going to be connected to that vanishing point. And we're going to start with a road down the middle. So all I'm going to do is connect from the bottom of my page up to my little dot, making kind of like a triangle to start off with. And this is how you'll create your road. Do you kind of see how it's starting to look a little bit like a road? I'll connect the middle lines, those dashed lines in the road that are normally yellow. I'll connect those up with my dot too. And remember, your vanishing point is where things start to get smaller. So as I make those lines, I need to make sure that I'm making them smaller and closer together as I get closer to my vanishing point. The first time I learned how to draw in perspective, it took me quite a few tries. So if you don't get it the first time, that is just fine. Alright, so we used a triangle line to start our road, and now we need to draw some buildings on our road. So what you'll do first is you will draw some kind of rectangle, and I like to use my ruler to keep everything nice and straight, so you can use whatever straight edge you're using. And I'm just going to use the corner of this paper to keep things simple. So the bottom of my paper is going to be the bottom of my rectangle. The outside edge here of this paper is going to be the outside edge of my rectangle. And so when you are drawing your rectangle for your building, it does not matter how it's connected to the vanishing point from the beginning, but what you'll need to do is you'll need to connect all of your corners to the vanishing point to make it look like a building rather than just a rectangle. So I'll take that corner and I will draw all the way to my vanishing point. Nice and easy and light with your pencil because you'll want to erase these lines when you are finished. So once I have them all connected, and I'm going to skip my bottom little corner just for this example. The next ones I will show you what it looks like. And from here on out, I'm going to refer to those lines connecting to the vanishing point as your diagonal lines. So if I'm talking about diagonal lines, that's what I mean. Next we need to do is make how wide our building's going to be, which I need to connect those diagonal lines going straight up and down and straight across. Make sure you connect on the corners just like I did there. And now I've got a 3D building. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase any extra line I don't need. And that's how you do it. So let's make another building because we are going to be making 3 buildings. So I'm going to move one over to the other side. And for that first one, I use the road as one of my lines to the vanishing point, one of those diagonals. And now this one I'm going to make so it's not connected to anything else. So I'm even going to make it off the ground a little bit so it's easier for you to see. And remember, we need to start with a rectangle. Use the flat edge to make it a little bit straighter and easier for you to connect. And once I have them all drawn out, I think you know the next step. We are going to take all 4 corners and we are going to connect them to our vanishing point. So I'll take the ruler, connect those quick, and I'm going to speed through that part because I think you know how to do it. And by that I mean I just made my video go a little bit faster. So I'm connecting with my pencil nice and light so that I can erase it. And then there we go. This is what it's going to look like when you are finished. And what you need to do now is you need to figure out how wide you want your building. So those lines need to go straight up and down, connecting diagonal lines, the top and bottom. And then connecting up here as well. Now this is the point where you erase all the lines you don't want. So you don't want this line here because we don't need to see where it connected. And we don't want this line on the inside here because we don't want to see that line. We want it to look like it's a building, and buildings don't have lines connecting off into some vanishing point when you look at them. So we'll erase all those lines. Now we've got our second building. This third building, I want to show you what it looks like when you draw above the horizon line. So for my next starting rectangle, I'm going to make sure that part of it goes over the horizon line, and I'm actually going to hide a little bit behind my second building. So we're going to imagine that it's a full rectangle, and here we go. But just to quickly show you, I'm going to draw it in quick here so you can see that it's my rectangle, but I'm going to erase it instead of connecting it to the vanishing point. Because that whole vanishing point line will be erased anyways. So, moving along, we're going to take those three corners and we are going to connect them to the vanishing point, just like we have before. Making new diagonal lines, and remember, even if it's going above, we're still connecting all the way down. Do you see how I did that there? This one here will still connect, and we'll connect one from the imaginary one back here. Redraw that in, keep it in there for you. So we've got all four corners. Now you know the next step. We need to figure out how wide we want our building to be. So I'm going to make it just about this wide. So all we need, because it went above the horizon line, is one line on the side. That's it, because there's not going to be a roof that you're going to be able to see because it's up and over that horizon line. So now we just erase all those extra lines that we don't want, and we've got our third building. What else you also need to do when you're erasing is you need to erase the horizon line that goes through your building. So there should be no extra lines going through your building, including that horizon line. And there we go, we've got our three buildings. Okay, so now I'm going to make doors on my buildings. You can make windows the same way, but just to show you how you can add things onto the building, I'm going to make doors. So what you'll do is you will draw two lines straight up. So there is my first one. Here comes my second one. And what you will do is you will take the farthest line from your vanishing point and you will connect it to it. So just like we did before, go all the way up. And then that other line, you got to make sure that it reaches the top of it. So the top of your door will be a diagonal line. It will not be straight across. It'll be just like the line at the top of your building. And if you were to make a window, you would do the same thing. You would draw two lines straight up, and then each corner from the farthest line you would connect to the vanishing point. And so the top and bottom of your window would be a diagonal line. All right, so I'm just going to jump right to what my drawing looks like after I colored it all in and everything's done. So let's go over those few new terms in this drawing here. We've got this line right here, which is our horizon line, where the sky and the ground meet. We've got our vanishing point right there. Everything connecting to our vanishing point. All right, and then I've got three buildings here. I've got that one, I don't really know what it is. That one's my coffee shop because I really would love to go to a coffee shop right now. And that last one, I don't know if you can read it. It says Conger because I miss you all and I cannot wait to go back to school to see you all. Thank you so much for watching. Can't wait to see your work.